It is, as every offseason, especially once OTAs get started and mandatory mini camps get started, it's best shape of their life season. It's best shape of his life season. Every veteran who wasn't like an all-pro last year is showing up to mandatory mini camps in the best shape of their life.
Everyone feels good right now.
Everybody feels great.
Yeah, the veteran, like the wide receiver that's, 33, 34 years old.
Everybody looks fast.
Yeah, everyone feels good.
Everybody moves fast. Granted, they don't have any pads on and they aren't getting hit.
Exactly.
But they look fast.
Yeah.
Nothing
hurts right now.
Not yet, at least. Unless you are still nursing an injury from last year. DJ Wanham. Should I make a J.C. Horn injury joke, or should I just move on?
Nah, move on.
All right, we'll just move on. The reason why I say it's best shape of his life season is because it actually plays into what we talked about yesterday with the blueprint, the behind-the-scenes video series that the Panthers are putting out of their offseason. We're not going to hear about anything bad. Okay? Now, one thing we are hearing a ton about is Bryce Young's leadership. Bryce Young, second year, he's a more comfortable leader. He's a more vocal leader. He's more in his own shoes, comfortable leading the pros. He's a leader. He's a leader. Well, guess what? If he wasn't a great leader, if he was still a turtle in its shell going into his second year, we wouldn't hear about it. Right? The funniest thing about accountability in sports is that the number one thing that holds players and coaches accountable is not the culture in the locker room. It's not the angry coach who doesn't let you go. It's not the strength and conditioning coach that's the voice of honesty with all its players. It's none of that. The number one thing that keeps you accountable is the scoreboard, right? After a loss, you have to sit up there and take questions in a post-game press conference, and that's when, yes, I have to be better. I made the mistake. I can't throw that interception. Or if you're a coach, I have to make better calls. I have to have them better prepared. That's when accountability can happen. Right now, nobody's lost yet. There's no scoreboard that says you got beat by 17. Where's the blame going? So instead, everybody is just like, yeah, today was a great practice. If I see one more social media video of Aaron Rodgers throwing a no-look pass, I'm going, well, it's easy to be a no-look pass. It's easy to do that. I'm not saying he never does it in games, but it's easy to do when interceptions don't matter. I'll go out there and throw no-look passes all day. Defense might catch half of them, but the other half, tweet out because they're going to look awesome. So Bryce Young's leadership, I hope it is better. I hope he has emerged out of that rookie shell that some find themselves in, right? That, I don't want to step on toes. I need to see the lay of the land before I grab someone by the face mask and get in their grill. I get that. But let's not make a bigger thing let's not make a mountain out of a molehill, right? Let's not make a mountain out of a broken molehill. I read an article on The Athletic. It's all about the leadership. And there's a bunch of other, we have quotes from Andy Dalton. You have quotes from other coaches. You have quotes from other players. There's a bunch of articles about it. Bryce Young's leadership is the focus of this Athletic article. And one of the pieces of evidence they use to say, like, this guy's a leader, people are following him, is 12 teammates showed up to his youth camp in Charlotte. Now, as a fun fact, I think it's a good part of the interview. I think it's kind of cool to know.
Yeah.
I think it's a good, hey, that's a thing to say.
He's in the community, and teammates are there. Love it.
I do not think that shows the leadership of the quarterback at all. I just factually don't. I think if guys are in the area and the backup tight end says, hey, I have a youth camp, can you stop by? 12 might show up. I think if Bryce Young asks anyone, even if he's not a great leader, he's still the quarterback. Guess which is one of the players that showed up? Terrace Marshall Jr. Guess who probably wants to be in the good graces of the person that decides whether he gets the ball thrown to him or not? Is that a good leader or is that a position of power? You could be a terrible leader. If you decide how many balls the wide receivers catch, wide receivers are going to show up. Andy Dalton said to The Athletic about Bryce Young, "You see him with how comfortable he is right now in everything that we're doing, being in front of the team, calling up the offense and speaking wisdom over, hey, let's be intentional with today's practice." It's a quote from Andy Dalton. Now, Andy Dalton is doing his job. I'm not knocking Andy Dalton. Backup quarterback, what's your job? To serve the starter. That is your job. All of that kind of stuff, if that matters at all, let's be intentional with today's practice. That leadership goes as far as your talent will take you. What I mean by that is that leadership is contingent on him playing much better this year than last year.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't play well, if you are maybe one of the main reasons for a loss or for a slump, and then you come in the next day screaming at guys to be intentional at today's practice, you will be met with eye rolls. Now, it's not, you wish it wasn't that way, right? You wish that no matter who's on the roster, good, bad, or indifferent, you can show up and be somebody that sets the tone for a practice, but that's just not the way humans work. That's just not the way humans work. I believe Shaquille O'Neal calls it G14 certified, and I'm not sure why it's G14. Maybe there's a meaning behind it.
Okay.
But he talks about when guys become G14 certified, and that basically means like you can be honest, you can critique, right? Shaq in his career, and Shaq obviously big personality, very good player. Like if you're not G14 certified, if you're somebody that hasn't had success in the league, if you're somebody that hadn't been on winning teams, and you come to him and say, come on, man, you got to be in better shape to start the season, he's going to look at you like you got 12 heads, and he might try to punch one of them.
Or all 12.
Or bop, 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 bop. Unbelievable combo from Shaquille O'Neal. That exists in every professional sport. That exists in every college sport. The whole like rookies tend to stay in their corner is because they haven't done anything yet. And Bryce Young, even though he's played a full year, hate to say it, in the eyes of some veterans, still hasn't done anything yet. He has 2 game-winning drives. Give him credit for that.
Yep.
That's about it. That
is it.
The resume that Bryce Young has is 2 game-winning drives. That's it. All of this leadership stuff that's coming out about OTAs and mini camps, it goes down the drain if he doesn't play better football this year. Meanwhile, C.J. Stroud, again, they're going to be linked forever, is out there like ranking teammates on podcasts. He's down talking Aaron Rodgers on podcasts, saying he'd rather have Eli Manning's career, saying if you put Matt Stafford in Aaron Rodgers' shoes in Green Bay, Matt Stafford would have 3 or 4 championships. Like C.J. Stroud's all over the place. I guarantee you he could be that outlandish on the practice field. He'd still be seen as a leader because he did accomplish some things in his rookie year. He does have some G14 certification. He does have some things to back up, hey, when I ask you to do something, do it. I know what it takes to be successful in the NFL.
It does sound like, though, with Bryce saying, hey, let's be intentional today, it sounds like he's just echoing what Dave Canales is saying, which is a good thing, right?
Is if everyone else buys into it.
That's true. Well, at least he's bought in.
But I'm saying if everybody else isn't bought into Bryce, you're going to get suck up. Teacher's pet.
Yeah, that guy.
You get that. But if they like Bryce and they buy into Bryce and Bryce is having success on the field, then they will then it's good. Then it's what you said. Then it's just a coach on the field. It's everybody's on the same page. Good culture, good vibes. Everybody loves each other. A surprising amount of like buy-in to leadership. I don't know why I said surprising. A large amount of buy-in to leadership has directly to do with the success you're having in sports. I don't know how it is everywhere else, but in sports, if you're not having success on the field or on the court or in the pool, on the track, it's hard for you to be like a team leader.